Crack it. All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to The Blab today. My name is Andrew McCauley. We are going to be digging into what's been happening online in the last few days. We did our last show on Wednesday. Today's Friday, of course. We're doing our new show this week. We've got a few things up our sleeve. I am joined by my co-host, Will Hanke. G'day, Will.
Hey, Andrew. Thanks for having me on today. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, I think so. We've got a few things popping up. You know, we covered a few topics last Wednesday, and it was good to see that we got in early because then a few other blabs popped up covering some of the same topics. So
yeah,
you heard it here first. We like to be the breaking news of the blab world.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, we were hoping to learn some new things, and we just learned this stuff we'd already covered. So.
Yeah, really. So, and you know what? We want to open up the seats too. So if you want to join us sometime, we'd love to have you in and share the news that you've discovered over the last few days of online marketing, that sort of stuff too. So, hey, Will, what are we going to kick off with? I think we've got our title called "Some Big Twitter Changes Again." I think we might kick off with that we touched on a little bit on Wednesday, but I think it's happening more and more. Which is pretty big news. You want to kick off with that?
Yeah, they're making some fairly large changes to their API, taking out some critical information that a lot of third-party people would like to know, how many retweets, how many shares, that sort of information. So it's going to be interesting to see, how they go about doing that and how it affects the third-party type people that are using that information.
Yeah. Now, there's a number of tools out there, you know, all of the apps that congregate, what's the word I'm looking for? Add up the number of tweets that you've got. You got AppSumo or SumoMe. You've got things like BuzzSumo.
Yeah, that's a big one.
They've all got a bit of a challenge ahead, I think, because these guys, their core business is telling the world how many tweets and that sort of stuff. Now, it's just Twitter we're talking about at the moment, but, you know, if this works and Twitter go ahead with this and they see it's effective, because it's a pretty big data suck.
Yeah.
You know, LinkedIn, Facebook, those other ones, Pinterest, they all might go the same way too, which could be pretty crazy. Hope they don't, but that could be the case, right?
Yeah, definitely could be. Obviously, there's a lot of people wondering if this is some sort of a monetary play where that information is still available. However, you know, now you have to pay for it, which is going to hurt a lot of small businesses. I mean, they're not going to be able to keep up with it, but some of the larger businesses, you know, just give them another advantage.
Yeah, really.
Not cool.
Okay, so is there anything else you want to talk about? I just want to touch on that one too, because it's going to be a big change. It sort of snuck in, you know, in there. They announced some button changes last week, and they sort of snuck that in. So it was a little bit under the radar.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people have seen it yet, so I'm wondering if that's going to be picked up. But anyway, that is what I'm thinking about Twitter. Anything else you want to add to that, or you want to dig on to that?
We covered the buy button that they added earlier this week, so I haven't seen that in the wild yet either, but it should be out there.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. If you just jumped on, we're discussing what's been happening online. You want to join us? There's a couple of open seats. We'd love to have you on there. Even if you want to just discuss some of the things we are talking about as we bring them up, we'd love to have people jump in the blab. So don't be scared. We don't bite. I think we both had showers in the last week. So
I changed my shirt today. Yeah.
Come and join us.
Let's talk about let's do Instagram. I know that we had actually mentioned it last week that it was going to start showing up in the Power Editor for Facebook ads. And that is now available for all marketers for the opportunity to start putting your ads on Instagram, the actual network.
Yeah, big change. So finally they're here. I think it was November last year. I think they launched the first round of ads for some of the bigger companies. It's taken them a year to get here, but now marketers can start running ads on there. We had someone on last week, or I think it was last week. Amber was on last week, and she said that she's noticed a few Instagram ads popping through her time feed, big avid user of Instagram. And she said, you know, they were pretty native. They were looking like they were part of the Instagram flow. And then once she knew that they were sponsored, she sort of skipped over them. But I think it's a bit early to tell how effective these Instagram ads are. We haven't heard much data from. I haven't heard much data. Have you heard much
No,
data from some of these bigger companies that are using it?
no. Or do you use Instagram yourself?
I do, but not as much as I should or could.
Yeah.
um,
I've probably posted 8 pictures in the 8 months I've been on, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So anyway, so it's one of those things, but it'll be interesting to see if you let's see, someone I think it's let's see, is that Samantha says I've done a few Instagram ads. They have done pretty well, all things considered.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, cool, Samantha, that's great. I'd love to know, Samantha, what industry you're in, or what field you're in, and what sort of ads. Were they straight to e-commerce products, or were they just to get people to your site to retarget them? Good to know. Oh, there we go. E-commerce home fragrance. There we go. Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
I've got a client that sells custom-made chef knives. I bet they'd probably do well on something like Instagram.
Yeah, I think if you've got a product that's very visual, then you're going to be doing well. You know, if you're a tax accountant, it might be a bit of a challenge.
Check out this tax form. Yeah.
So there you go. Samantha says she was doing retargeting with our marketing customers and website visitors. Yep, that's exactly what I thought would be the best way to do it. Retarget those visitors, and then now I wonder also, Samantha, just quickly, if you want to jump on, there's an open seat, but the retargeting, were you retargeting via Facebook or Google Ads? Because I don't think you can do a retargeting on Instagram at the moment, can you? I haven't heard about that. So it'd be interesting to see if you're doing retargeting. You can. Hey, I'm learning every time. You can retarget people on Instagram.
That's pretty sweet. Cool. I would assume that's all inside building the audiences in the Power Editor.
Yeah. Wow. It's all happening. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that information. All right, Instagram ads. What else we got out there? What's on our list of other things?
YouTube subscriptions. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Do you know much about those?
Just what I read today. It looks like they're certainly thinking about coming out with it. There's some changes to the terms of service, which seem to echo the fact that there might be a subscription service coming, which, you know, the article I read didn't say a whole lot about it. So, but I'm assuming it's going to help people that are actually uploading content, maybe make a little bit more money from it. But, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So they have their music subscription service, which is sort of, from what I hear, hasn't been the greatest introduction to their subscription service. Right. But what they're talking about is having just average YouTubers having a paid gateway sort of thing, so that people can pay for their content. There's a few YouTubers out there which are getting a lot of traction, a lot of eyeballs. They're making some money on their ads, but you know, if they could make some extra money for people paying to see their content, right, that may enhance other YouTube channels to grow quickly. So interesting to see how that goes. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what the revenue split is, you know, or if they're even gonna tell us what that number is. But you know, it's gonna have to be worthwhile, I would assume, for people that are uploading content regularly.
Yeah. So the terms of service have changed just recently, and that's all included some wording around that subscription service. So watch for those new contracts you've got to sign. Yeah. Those new updated terms of service that pop up on YouTube. They'll be appearing if they haven't already, and they're gearing up towards subscription. So it's going to be rolling out pretty soon.
Yep, that'll be interesting. The article I read said a lot of people have already agreed to the terms of service. In fact, I'll pop this little thing into the chat here. But they said most people have already agreed to the terms. So at least the terms that they've already come out with. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Renee just joined us too. Hello, Renee. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Renee.
Okay. So that's YouTube. Some big news on Facebook profiles.
Yeah. They're adding in the ability to do. I think it's 7 or 8 seconds, kind of like a little movie. Like it ends up being an animated GIF file, but instead of just the generic profile, you can actually have something that's moving. Don't know what kind of small business benefit there is to that, but maybe they do something like that on Blab too. I know on the homepage when you're looking at the different Blabs, some of those are moving. We kind of talked about this last week, where it grabs your attention, grabs your eyeball for at least a second to see what that one is out of the other one. So see how that ties into personal profiles with animated GIFs. I don't know. We'll see.
I think maybe we've got those autoplay on YouTube. On your YouTube channel, you can have an automated playing video to welcome people to your channel. Of course, it's not 7 seconds, but there'll be maybe creative ways that people come up. We saw people come up with real crazy videos for Vine and that sort of stuff in 7 seconds. Yeah. Maybe it's just a way to say, hey, here's how we can. How can you make this stand out? Because you got to remember, I mean, YouTube's got 1.4 billion people, and 7 seconds of video for times 1.4 billion people is a lot of storage.
Right.
I just think they're getting not that 1.4 billion people will do this, but even if 10% of them do it, it's still a couple of 100 million people putting extra 7 seconds of video on there. All of a sudden, their servers are going to be blown out.
Right.
Interesting to see what happens. We watch this space, I guess. Is that available to everybody yet, or are they rolling it out in New Zealand?
Yeah, I think they're rolling it out to everybody. I don't know that it's available immediately for everyone, but I'm pretty sure they're rolling it out.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. I didn't put it on the topic for today, but there's also a new thing when you share somebody's status. It's now giving you the opportunity to put a couple different pictures. Have you come across that yet?
No, not yet.
It used to just grab the open graph, whatever picture you set up for your blog post or whatever. Now it's actually pulling in a couple different pictures from your page is what it looks like. And then it gives you a choice at the bottom of which pictures you want to assign to that particular post. And you can assign more than one picture to it, which is kind of interesting. So I wonder if they're letting you upload a couple different pictures, and then they're going to optimize which of those gets the most engagement.
Is this the carousel feature that they've been using for their ad platform as well?
Yeah, I think it's going to tie into that somehow. Somehow it's going to be related to the carousel, where you can actually scroll across your posts and see different things with different pictures. So, yeah. Something else is changing. Anyone
else has seen that? Let us know. But I did see that somewhere mentioned just yesterday, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. So interesting. Yeah, interesting to see that come up. Now, are you saying that you're sharing other people's posts, or are you sharing someone else's blog post? Are they links that you're sharing, or someone else's post from Facebook profile?
The way I did it the other day was. I have a friend that's in a group, and I run the page for that group. So he had put up a new blog post on his thing. So I went to the blog, grabbed the URL, then went to the Facebook group to post that URL in there and share it. Mm-hmm. And it actually came up and asked me which picture I wanted to choose to go with that, or if I wanted more than one picture. So it wasn't just grabbing the open graph picture that he had assigned to it. It was asking me if I wanted to assign 2 or 3 other pictures as well.
But you couldn't upload an extra picture either, though, could you? You had to pick it from what was on the page?
No, there's a plus. There's the little gray plus where you can upload your own picture still.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of weird. So, I mean, that was for somebody else's content, not my own content. But I'm assuming the same thing would happen for my own. I use a service called Buffer, which I think is what you use as well. So it posts a lot of that stuff for me using the open graph picture. But if somebody physically wants to copy a URL and paste it into their stream or on one of their business pages or something like that, it gives them an opportunity to choose a couple different pictures.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to check that out today, see what that's doing, how that's working. Interesting. Awesome. Okay. What else we got there? What else happened in the last couple of days? What's on our list?
Let's see. Your buddy Edward Snowden joins Twitter. He sent out one post what did he say? Can you hear me now? And
the funny thing, the reason I put this up here was that this is some data from he's joined on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So he's only been on there for 3 days. He's received 227,000 mentions, 453 engagements like tweets and retweets, and he's received 16,000 welcome to Twitter messages. Now, so this is funny, but here's one of the funny thing. He posted his tweet yesterday. He said, "I forgot to turn off notifications. Twitter sent me an email for each follow, favorite, retweet, and direct message."
Oh.
He's got 1.27 million followers. Right. So he got an email for each one of those. 47 gigs of notifications.
Wow.
47 gigs. He's only following one person on Twitter. Who do you think that is?
It's not me. I know that.
Yeah, it's not me. It's the NSA.
Oh, that's great.
It's the only person he's following, which is funny.
That's pretty funny. So, if something like that were to happen to the average person, I would assume their hosting company would probably shut it down at some point, or else their bandwidth is going to go through the roof and cost them a fortune.
47. How would you delete that much? That's got to be that's a million and something. That's a couple of million emails.
Yeah,
million emails.
Yeah,
if you've got a million followers already, you've got millions of emails. Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, in most cases for small businesses, I think when you get some sort of a rush of traffic like that, typically they throttle it, or they email you and say, "Hey, you're getting near your bandwidth limit," things like that. So
exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's certainly a lesson for a newbie to turn off those notifications, especially if you're pretty popular like that. I think most people, they ease into Twitter, they get 1 or 2 followers, and they get 1 or 2 emails, they can handle it. But not when you launch into it like that. That's just insane.
Yeah, and he got his little green check mark really quick too. So
wow,
the verified account type thing.
Interesting. One other thing, and if you join us, thanks for joining us. We're just talking about online news that's happened over the last few days. We do this show every Tuesday, every Friday, 10:30 Pacific, or whatever time that is for you, wherever you are. One last thing that you've got on our little list, and that's some interesting robbers that didn't do too well on Facebook.
Yeah. I've got a brother who's a cop, and he always says, if they were smart, they wouldn't be criminals. And these guys are perfect for this. So they rob a bank, and then they go on Facebook and post pictures of themselves holding all the money. Okay, I guess they made the cops' job a lot easier.
I've heard a lot of these stories where there's some really stupid criminals out there who do that sort of stuff. I mean, really, I just shake my head.
Right. I don't know what else there is to do. I don't know. If they were smart, they wouldn't be criminals, I guess. There's a reason he says that.
Really. Really. So where was this? Was it somewhere where your brother works, or was it just somewhere you saw?
Oh, no, this was just something I happened to see on Mashable. I'll pop the link in here for everybody. I'm not sure where it was even at, but pretty funny that rob a bank, do something dumb, and then go. I mean, we've seen this before. These guys go on Facebook and says, "Guess what I just did?" Or they post pictures or other things. It's a little bit insane.
There was a guy in Australia this week who actually posted. I don't know how he got on Facebook. He was inside jail. He posted photos of himself inside jail.
Oh,
and then he broke out about 12 hours later. It's like, really? Yeah, and on his Facebook, he was talking to his girlfriend. She's like, "Can't wait to see you soon." And I'm like, this guy's in jail for another 20 months or something.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you soon. And sure enough, he was out within 12 hours. I'm like, really? There's a sign. If the girlfriend knows you're getting out, right. And she put it on Facebook, let's think about that.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. What else? We got anything else to go? Well, we're going to wrap it up for today's show.
That's about all the topics we've got for today.
All right, people. Thanks for joining us. This is a show we do every Tuesday, every Friday at 10:30. What we do is cover the online stuff that's going on. We dig through the internet. We find out what's changed, what's about to change, and we bring it to you. If you like it, share this blab with people or tell other people about us. follow us, and then we'll notify everyone as we go. So thank you very much, Will, for joining us today.
Yeah.
And look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. I'm sure there'll be lots of crazy things happening over the next few days.
Yeah, they always try to sneak something in on the weekend when we're not supposed to be paying attention. So by Tuesday, we'll have a nice little list, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all there.
All right.